Today on CityCast Denver, what's the deal with masks, vaccines, and booster shots? I'm putting Bree and Peyton in the hot seat for a round of Guess That COVID Restriction. Today is Friday, August 20th, 2021. I'm Paul Caroli, and this is CityCast Denver. Welcome back to CityCast Denver. It's the show about the city with an embarrassing lack of a mid-sized arena. I'm Paul Caroli, and I'm here with our regular host, Bree Davies.
Hi, Paul. I'm already offended by how you started this. Why are you doing this to the Coliseum?
Isn't the Coliseum technically outside the city limits?
No.
I thought I read that.
No, it's on Brighton Boulevard.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's right next to where they want to build that new arena.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very
Right,
much.
of course. And also joining us today is CityCast Denver's newsletter writer, Peyton Garcia.
Hey, Paul.
Welcome to the show, Peyton.
Thanks.
Thanks for being here. So, it's Friday, and I think, unfortunately, what we have to talk about this week is the state of the pandemic. It looks pretty bad right now. Delta variant's doing its thing, whatever it is, kind of mysterious. Case numbers are going back up. People refuse to get vaccinated. The slow march to another long, cold winter has begun.
I'm dreading it, to
Yeah.
be honest with you.
Peyton, where are you at emotionally?
Confused, mostly.
Confused.
It's just, there's just so much going on. It's hard to know who's requiring vaccine proof, who's requiring masks. I was just telling Willie, my fiance, that we have to go back to carrying masks in our purses and our pockets because you just don't know where you might need them. I don't know. It's just all very confusing. Just when I thought we were seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, that light seems to be moving far away.
Well, I'd like to bring some light back into the conversation. It's so funny that you talked about feeling confused because I have prepared a little game for us. A little game.
I hate
Welcome
games,
to...
Paul.
Oh, you're going to love this.
This is
Bree.
a pop quiz because I studied.
I love that. That's great. Well, welcome to Guess That COVID Restriction.
Oh, my God.
What I have done, I did a little bit of research and I found all of the latest COVID restrictions for 3 categories that are on everybody's minds right now: masks, vaccines, and boosters. And so I've looked for the most recently announced restriction on the local level, on the state level, and on the federal level. And what I want to do is go back and forth between you and ask if you know the most recent restriction.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay.
First person to 3 points wins. You get a point if you get it right.
Okay,
All
let's
right,
do it.
let's get into it.
All right, who wants to start?
I'll start.
All right, Peyton, you did say that you had done some research.
Yeah,
so-
you studied.
Bring it.
All right, Peyton, I'm going to give you a category and a jurisdiction, I guess is probably the best word to say that. Okay, so state vaccines. What does the state of Colorado have to say about vaccines?
So Polis
do.
is not going to enact a vaccine. He hasn't. He's asked all state employees, I think, to get vaccinated before a certain date in September. I think September 20th. And then anyone who doesn't get vaccinated, any state employees that don't get vaccinated by that point in time has to undergo like weekly testings and wear masks. But there's not any big blanketing vaccine mandate for the state as far as I'm aware, I think.
Ding, ding, ding. That is correct. There is no vaccine mandate for the state of Colorado as of right now, the morning of Thursday, August 19th.
That may have changed by the time you hear this.
Yeah. Good luck, everybody. Okay. 1-0. Peyton, congratulations. Bree, it's coming over to you.
Okay.
Here's a tough one.
Okay.
Booster shots,
Yes.
local level. What does the city of Denver have to say about booster shots?
Have we made a statement about booster shots? I don't think so. I'm pretty
Ding, 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 ding. She is correct. We have
Oh.
not made a
Okay.
statement about booster shots. There is no local guideline. Congratulations.
And that's Hancock, right?
Yes.
Okay, on a city level.
I wasn't
Hancock
able to
has-
find
that's-
any
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
I
makes
haven't
sense.
seen anything.
local statement on booster shots. Okay, 1-1. You two are good. You
Thanks.
two are good. Okay, Peyton, I think you had state last time, so we're going to go to federal. Federal guidelines on masks.
I'm pretty sure the last I heard, the CDC was saying they were encouraging everybody to wear masks indoors, regardless of vaccination status, in places that had high transmission rates. Is that correct?
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
That is exactly right. I'm impressed.
Thanks.
I mean, you realize it's Peyton's job every day to read
That's
the
why
news
I was going to say, I feel like I have a little bit of an edge because.
and regurgitate it into something readable and understandable for our readers. And then
Yeah.
it's my job to edit what she's written.
Very true, but that's not to say I'm not doing some serious mental shuffling. It's taking some thinking for sure.
Yeah. In looking up the answers to this, I didn't even realize that Biden was having this fight with Republican governors in some other states about mask mandates in schools.
Oh my God.
Glad that's not happening here. All right, so that's 2-1 for Peyton. Bree, it's coming back to you.
Okay.
State level booster shots. What do our state level officials say about booster shots?
I believe Polis said this week that he recommends he is recommending booster shots for immunocompromised people at this point, but there is no tracking method or outreach or anything happening at this point. But if you are an immunocompromised person, you should be available to get a booster shot.
Ding, ding, ding. That is correct.
Okay.
Can I add though that that was great.
yes,
That was
for
perfect.
extra
But
points.
while we're on this topic, Polis also was like kind of underhandedly like telling people, but if you can get it, you should get it.
Yeah.
Which is
like
kind
if
of weird.
Even if you're not immunocompromised, maybe you just want to get that extra booster
Like
shot.
you should just do it. And then there was I was reading an article that said there's no proof required that you're immunocompromised. You just have to say, I'm immunocompromised and I
Right.
want the shot, and then you can get it. So, I mean, the general statement is, yeah, exactly what Bree said, but
This is wild to me because I have friends who live in Mexico City and they have not been able to get vaccinated.
Yeah,
Some
same.
of them have flown to like New York City where you can walk into a Walgreens and get vaccinated.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so the fact that, the fact that we are already at the booster shot stage for us is a pretty big privilege. And the fact that we are the most under-vaccinated of countries with access is just really gross
I
to
don't
me.
think I realized that.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
I believe
but
so. I
that
know
makes
it's kind of
sense.
like,
yeah.
yeah, of course.
I
We
know
have the
we're in a-
most access.
We're in
and
a
the least
position where
amount.
you can literally walk into a Walgreens or a Walmart.
Most places, to be fair. I know
Yeah.
sometimes in rural areas it's more difficult.
For sure.
For folks that, with transit issues and stuff, it's not like super easy, but for the most part in America, that access is much greater than somewhere like
And
Mexico.
yet we still have people who are like, nah.
All right, back to you, Peyton. This is your chance to win. This could be your third point, which is enough. What is the COVID guideline at the local level for mask wearing?
I don't believe that there's been a definitive mask mandate put in place, a new definitive mask mandate put in place, except for in schools, with certain exceptions.
Okay, ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. Peyton, I'm going to give it to you. I think that counts.
Yes.
I did not see Mayor Hancock give any mask mandate. I'm pretty sure it's left up to the individual businesses. However, here's a quote from yesterday from the Denver Department of Public Health and Environment. All individuals age 2 and older in Denver must wear a face covering that covers the nose and mouth when indoors at all schools and school-based extracurricular activities, regardless of vaccination status. So that's the latest on the local level. Lots of talk about schools.
And I do think that it's been so long because we're so focused on vaccines and boosters now, which is great. But I'm pretty sure the last thing I heard was that they were recommending, ever since Denver ventured into the high transmission rate level, it was recommended that you wear masks inside indoors in public places. So I think that's where we left off on that.
Okay, well, that wasn't that confusing. You all got them all right.
It's true.
I mean, we do read the news every day.
Oh, yeah, it's our job to know this kind of stuff.
Well, hopefully our listeners are a little less confused.
Yeah. And congratulations to everybody on getting through another day of this horrible, horrible pandemic. Let's move on. Let's move on to a segment. It's time for a segment we like to call New Denver, Old Denver, because daily news moves so fast. Every once in a while, we just have to check in on that slow-moving but constant state of change that we all feel every day living here in the Mile High City. So we're going to go around and talk about something we saw this week, each of us, that made us feel, oh, that old Denver pang of loss and regret, or that new Denver feeling of uncertainty and fear for... What am I saying? What is that new Denver feeling? What is that new Denver feeling, Bree?
Excitement,
How would you define it?
I mean, it's like two-sided, right? Like, I don't want to discount the fact that sometimes it's really cool.
Yeah, new, good stuff.
But most of the time it's like, what is that? That's me, like, half the time walking down the street in certain neighborhoods, and I'll be like, what is that? Why do we have that? Why do we need that? Why is that? What the hell is that? And maybe it's a building. Maybe it's a business that seems ridiculous,
Sure,
you know?
sure.
So
All right, Bree, let's start with you. You got one? New Denver, Old Denver?
I do. I have an old Denver, but it's like a celebration of a place that feels so old Denver to me that I enjoy. So my family and I went to see Alice in Wonderland, the family theater production at Su Teatro. But before we went to the show, we went to El Noa Noa across the street for dinner. And El Noa Noa is the Mexican restaurant that's like directly across from Su Teatro. Mm-hmm. And it has the most beautiful patio in all of Denver to me. It has like mature trees and umbrellas. It's just beautiful. And it has a waterfall. And it's just on Santa Fe and 7th. And it's not super hidden, but you may not notice it there. And they're just, to me, my favorite Colorado Mexican food, too. So sitting on the patio,
Right.
just enjoying the weather, sitting outside. It was great. It was lovely. So shout out to El Noa Noa's patio. That's my old Denver spot.
I love it. Peyton, you're the only one of us that knows anything about food. You ever been to Old Noa, El Noa Noa?
I haven't, but Bree's story is a really good segue into my New Denver, Old Denver
All right, yeah,
selection,
bring it on.
which is that Federales recently opened in Rhino. It's right there on Larimer, and that is it's New Denver. So Federales is owned by Four Corners Restaurant Group out of Chicago, and they own a crap ton of stuff in Chicago, and they just opened here in Denver. And I read a piece by Molly Martin, the food editor at Westward, and she kind of reviews it, and she had some very interesting points. I'm always excited for a new restaurant. I'm always excited for Denver's culinary scene to grow. She did point out that like we have a very strong, authentically like Chicano community. So when you get a new chain restaurant that's owned by white people, it kind of just makes you be like,
Good chain Mexican restaurant
right,
owned by
it's
white people. That was
$6 tacos
Yeah.
from a group not local to Denver when we have all of these amazing, super authentic Mexican restaurants here already. She also pointed out the name Federales could be kind of controversial.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Well, it was the name that the Mexican National Police Force used.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's a law enforcement
Yeah,
reference.
like in a pretty it has pretty negative connotations. And what really got me was I was reading the article, and the guys who came up with the concept for Federales, the whole premise of the restaurant is based on this one dude's trip to an all-inclusive resort in Mexico.
Which is where you find the worst Mexican food.
So like that's the
what?
whole
Just
FYI.
FYI.
They were like, so why Federales? And they were like, well, this guy went to Mexico one time and had a really good time at this all-inclusive resort. And so we decided to like mimic that. And I'm like, that's not really.
Have you been to an all-inclusive resort in Mexico?
Yeah,
It's like
it's-
not being in Mexico.
No, for sure. And then he said that at this resort, his favorite thing.
It's like going to like a mall and being like, the food court. How do I capture this essence?
Yeah, like I'm a person that goes to
Yeah.
malls on vacation, but I'm not under any illusion that they represent the,
The
culture.
culture.
of the place that I'm
Yeah.
in.
Wow.
So his favorite
Yeah.
thing about this resort was they had this big, or this little tiny bell, and you could order these shots of tequila, and you would shoot your shot of tequila, and then you had to throw your shot glass and try and hit the bell. And if you hit the bell, everyone cheered for you. So he wanted to replicate that. So at this Federales, they have this little bell, and instead of glass, they serve you ice shot glasses. So they're like
Okay.
these like carved out ice cubes. You shoot
Sure.
your tequila and then you chuck it at this bell. And these shots are $10. So you're paying $10 to down this tequila shot and then throw your ice glass at the bell, which just seems like what it just
Sounds
feels
like
not
Senor Frogs or something.
right. It feels very gimmicky to me.
Yeah.
Not like it's no El Noa, it's no Bubbachinos. And I have a very specific opinion on Mexican food. I think you have to get your Mexican food from like a hole in the wall place run by somebody of the culture. So, anyways, I don't know. Maybe it's going to be really, really good. Part of me is a little skeptical that it's just, from this one white dude's trip to an all-inclusive resort in Mexico. So we'll see.
I mean, those people are probably going to love that place.
It's great for
I could
them.
see myself going there and having a good time.
Paying.
Paul.
I can't see myself paying $10 to throw
Absolutely.
an ice cube at the
Don't
wall.
I would
Disappoint me,
like to
Paul.
do that once. That sounds very fun to do once. To ring the bell and have everyone cheer for you for being, so, good and strong, I guess, that you drank a shot of tequila.
It's definitely a specific crowd that it'll be catering to, and I think it's going to not really impress another large demographic. But who see?
Yeah.
We'll see.
I can't tell from your commentary, Peyton, how you feel about.
I feel
This
pretty
place.
torn. I mean, I'm a first chance, second chance kind of person, especially when it comes to restaurants, and I'm always looking for new great places to try. I'm a little skeptical because, as I've said, I think Denver already has a ton of standout taco places and a really, really strong Chicano culture and community that already provides that. So, I mean, Federales is going to have to come in here and really up the game to be impressive. And it's just like based on that origin story, it's not a great first impression, in my opinion. But that's not to say I wouldn't try it.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. One old Denver Mexican restaurant, one brand new Denver Mexican restaurant.
Perfect.
Very cool. All right, so I've got one that's like, I think for a lot of people this will feel like a new Denver thing, but it gave me very old Denver feelings. It gave me that very familiar old Denver pang of, aw.
Okay.
So last week, the Uniqlo on 16th Street Mall closed. This is the Japanese clothing store that took the place of the old Barnes & Noble. Did you all ever go?
Was it like
A rarity.
H&M style?
Yeah,
Kind
a
of
little,
like
a little nicer.
Like a Japanese H&M?
Yeah, to me, it's like a Japanese Gap
Oh, nice.
for basics. Great
Now
store.
you're speaking to me, Brie.
I know. It was a great store.
Well, that's too bad.
Yep, and it's gone.
What's going to go there now? Do you know?
I have no idea. I have no
have
idea.
not heard
What should go
anything.
in there? What would get you back to the 16th Street Mall? It's that nice 2-story place, got a good
I would
escalator
say
in there.
maybe a nice big bookstore.
Brie?
I think we need to make a trip then to McGregor Square to see the new tattoo
I know.
cover.
I agree
really
with that.
is what we need to do.
Probably should.
I was in high school when they built the pavilions. I watched them knock down an apartment building to build it because we watched it basically from the Paramount Cafe patio where we used to smoke cigarettes in the 90s. But what I remember distinctly is when they knocked that building down to build it, really old buildings, when you knock them down, smell terrible.
Really?
They're like, it's like dust and dirt.
Does
And
that
like,
make sense?
oh, it was
Huh.
disgusting. And I just vividly remember it. And then they built the pavilions. And the thing with the pavilions is it's an outdoor mall, right?
Of course.
And those are like, the trend is indoor, outdoor. Like every 10 or 15 years, they build indoors, then they build outdoors, then they build indoors, then they build outdoors. So that was during the outdoor mall
Yeah.
lifestyle center craze of mall building.
Yeah.
So
I know you're trying not to be this guy anymore, Bree, but I kind of love when you're this guy.
I'm like, remember
Just that
when
there
it used to
be
be
this.
a stinky old building?
Give me 10 years and I'll be that person about the Uniqlo store.
Yeah.
It's like, there used to be a really great Japanese fast fashion store here. It's a really fun place to hang out sometimes. And that's all for the week here on CityCast Denver. Our producers this week were me, Paul Caroli, Natalie Rivera, Peyton Garcia writes our morning newsletter. Our host, of course, is Bree Davies. Our music is by Los Mocochetes, with additional mixing by Tyler Lindgren, plus more from the Epidemic Sound Library. If you haven't already, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter at CityCast Denver. You can sign up for that daily newsletter and learn more about us at denver.citycast.fm. Peyton, you want to sign us off?
See ya.
See y'all next week.
Bye. You're looking very mischievous.
I know, Paul. What
I-
got up your sleeves?